It's time for GMA3. Luigi Mangione in court with a key victory in the state's case against the suspect in the killing of UnitedHealthcare CEO Brian Thompson. What Mangione's lawyer said after the ruling. Calling all parents, the new warning about teens not getting enough sleep, how it can impact their schoolwork and their health, and the new campaign to help them go screen-free in their bedrooms. And a strong start for the new cast of Dancing with the Stars. Ginger takes us behind the scenes, what you may have missed on the wild premiere. And pro dancer Sharna Burgess joins us to break down the competition. It's time for GMA3.
From ABC News headquarters in New York City, this is GMA3.
We have a great show coming up for you today. Hello, everyone. I'm Rhiannon Alley.
And I'm Janae Norman. Great to be here with Ika Jachi, and so glad that you could join us on this Wednesday. Coming up today, it has been 20 years since the world was introduced to Twilight, and the books and movies becoming a phenomenon. Our Juju Chang sat down with author Stephanie Meyer to talk about why she thinks the series is so enduring and whether there could be more to the story of Bella and Edward. I know you're a huge fan.
You're a huge fan, Ike, right?
Yeah.
Biggest try hard.
Oh, yeah. Let's get into this one. Also ahead, the new study on GLP-1 weight loss medications and kids as young as 6. Now, we've seen what these drugs can do for adults. Dr. Darian Sutton breaks down the findings for kids and teens.
It's going to be very interesting to hear what he has to say. But now we turn to Luigi Mangione's courtroom win. A judge dismissing terror-related charges against the man who is accused of gunning down UnitedHealthcare CEO Brian Thompson last year. Chief Investigative Correspondent Aaron Katersky, you've been following this the entire time. So tell us what's going on. What's the latest?
That assassination-style killing, Rhiannon, sure was a shock. But the judge simply decided it did not warrant charging Luigi Mangione with murder as a crime of terrorism. This was the first time we had seen Mangione in a Manhattan courtroom in 5 months. He entered shackled, wearing a tan jail outfit, clean-shaven, hair freshly cut, and he appeared to glance at 24 supporters, mainly young women, seated in the back. Mangione still faces murder and other charges that could get him a life sentence and federal charges that could get him the death penalty, and he's pleaded not guilty. Prosecutors say Mangione was carrying a murder weapon, a fake ID, and a red notebook he used as a diary. One of the entries said the target is insurance. It checks every box. And to prosecutors, those writings meant Mangione intended to create a spectacle and send a wider message. But the judge said while the targeted killing was abhorrent and despicable, it simply did not meet the definition of terrorism.
And his attorneys are claiming this as a big victory. But what does it actually mean for the case?
Well, it is a win for the defense. This is what they actually wanted. They argue the Manhattan DA's office stretched the definition of terrorism, but prosecutors are still confident they can prove Mangione intended to kill Thompson and planned it in advance. They say Mangione stalked the UnitedHealthcare chief in Midtown Manhattan and was lying in wait before shooting him in the back from just a few feet away.
It's still going to be interesting to see what happens with this.
Absolutely. So much to still watch, Aaron. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you, Aaron. Now to the Federal Reserve, expected to announce an interest rate cut today. Elizabeth Scholze joins us with what we can expect and what it could mean for you. Hey, Elizabeth.
Hey, Ike. So the Federal Reserve has kept interest rates on hold for 9 months amid stubborn inflation. But later this afternoon, it is expected to take action, cutting rates by 1/4 point. The reason why is the jobs market is stalling. So by making it cheaper to borrow money, the Fed is hoping to stimulate hiring by businesses and spending by consumers. We have already seen mortgage rates drop in anticipation of the Fed's move. The average 30-year fixed rate, now 6.13%. That's near a 3-year low. A Fed rate cut can also lower costs for a new car loan or credit card payment. Take a look at this. Right now, the average credit card interest rate still near a record 20%. At that level, if you're carrying a $5,000 balance on your card and only making minimum payments, you're going to be in debt for 16 years and pay $6,900 in interest. So those high rates really do hurt, Ike.
And Elizabeth, the Fed's decision, it comes amid pressure from President Trump, right?
It does. You know, for months, President Trump has been pushing the Fed to lower rates. His top economic advisor was just confirmed to the Fed board. Fed Governor Lisa Cook will also be voting at this Fed meeting today. The president tried to fire her, but an appeals court ruled that she can actually stay on for now. No doubt the Fed chair, Jerome Powell, is going to face a lot of questions about the central bank's independence. And then the other really key question is, what does he say about more rate cuts in the months ahead, guys.
He has a lot of questions that he'll be facing. Elizabeth, thank you for bringing us that. Now to bringing attention to the need for teenagers to get enough sleep. We are smack dab in the middle of Student Sleep Week, and its key component, the Screen Free campaign. Becky Worley joins us now with what parents can do to keep screens out of their teens' bedrooms and help them get a good night's sleep. Becky, hello.
You know this is not easy, and it's a wake-up call, but you've probably heard the alarm and snoozed it already. Your kids are likely not getting enough sleep. Here are the stats. The American Academy of Sleep Medicine recommends teenagers get 8 to 10 hours of sleep every night. But according to the CDC, most high schoolers, 77%, saying they get less than that, and sometimes a lot less. Now, the impact of that sleep deprivation, it's significant. We're talking about changes in the way that the brain develops, worsening academic performance in school, even higher odds of obesity and hypertension in children, high blood pressure. I've even heard stories of large numbers of tweens who sleep with their phones within hand's reach, right in the bed. And as you can imagine, guys, that is not good.
No, absolutely. Becky, we had like an audible reaction to that because that's so hard to hear. Managing a kid's screen time, that can be so daunting for parents, but there are some good options to help your kids get better sleep.
Yeah, and I don't know if you remember the documentary Screenagers and that campaign Away for the Day, but those folks have launched the Screen Free Sleep Initiative. They say it's a movement designed to restore healthy rest, that this generation's really in crisis. You think about their mental health issues, and that sleep is really a key to that. So the goal is to keep kids' bedrooms device-free at night completely. The intervention does not need tech skills. That's the good news. Just a clear routine. So number one, remove all devices, phones, tablets, laptops, smartwatches, gaming devices from the bedroom at night. Provide a basic alarm clock. You know, that's one of the things that kids rely on their phones for. And then store those devices overnight in a secure central location, ideally a parent's bedroom. You know, these are simple steps. They're not something that need like a remote control and tech on your phone, but they can make a huge difference. And it's really good to lock in these routines at the beginning of the school year, guys.
It really is, Becky, and it'd be great if we could model a lot of that behavior for kids, but boy, would that be tough. Right? Thank you so much, Becky.
Too much to ask.
Still coming up here, the new study on weight loss medications in kids. Dr. Darian Sutton breaks down the findings.
We are back now with the GMA Health Alert. New research just released finding the popular GLP-1 weight loss medications may not just be beneficial for adults, but also for children and teens. Our medical correspondent, Dr. Darian Sutton, is here to break this down for us. So we're talking kids as young as 6. Break this study down.
Well, we first have to start with this statistic. 1 in 5 children or teens in the United States are obese. And from a public health perspective, this is 1 in 5.
That's huge.
Every 5th student in high school is obese. And from a public health perspective, this is considered an epidemic, and scientists are working to understand the benefit of GLP-1 medications, popular class that includes options like Wegovy, and the outcomes of those who don't meet their goals with just lifestyle changes. So this is an incredibly powerful study, large meta-analysis, a combination of many different studies, and they found the outcomes of children or teens who were obese who use these GLPs was associated with significant weight loss, about 6 to 10 pounds on average. That translates to about 5 to 8% body weight loss. And it might not seem like a lot for adults, but for children, that is significant and clinically meaningful. They also found reductions in their A1C. This is a risk for your risk of diabetes, or a blood test for your risk of diabetes. All of that being said, it's an indicator that these medications might be helpful, but a sign of a bigger problem that continues to brew in the United States.
So when do we think medications like these will be a more common option to treat obesity in kids and teens?
Well, you know, the FDA has approved certain older generations of these GLP products for those children and teens and parents who want to make this decision to use these medications. And likely as studies change, more data is added and safety is affirmed, we'll likely see changes in these regulations and clinical guidelines that might provide more access.
Darian, this is so staggering because you said 1 in 5 students. You didn't say overweight, but you said obese.
Yes.
And also it stands out to me that when we talked about adults and GLP-1s, they generally have to be on it for the rest of their life, right? So when we're talking about kids and teens, What's this all mean? What should parents take away from this?
As a physician, I treat it as a health problem, and I think it needs to be recognized as one. If you have a child that is obese or overweight, you should definitely talk to your primary care provider and start with the basic screening. Look for the complications of obesity, high cholesterol, high blood pressure. You want to make sure to reaffirm that you've ruled out these problems. And then secondly, I think talking to your child about lifestyle changes. This is not a trick for a quick bad diet. You have to reaffirm them and changing and reframing how they look at health. Instead of paying attention to the scale, how do you feel? How do your clothes fit? It's less about what your numbers are and more about your confidence, your energy, and are you well slept? Focusing on that, making sure that you're consistent is the most important part.
Oh, you said well slept, and we were just talking about teens not getting enough sleep. So when we're looking at overall health changes, what else can parents do? Just get your kids outside more, get them more active?
Absolutely. Making sure that you're paying attention to screen time. Becky Worley was just discussing to us the important challenges that many parents face. Making sure you're getting them active, at least 60 minutes of activity a day for children and teens. That is so much more than many children and teens are getting today. And making sure, again, that you're reframing what health looks like to them. It's about lifestyle, not about quick changes.
What if parents feel embarrassed?
I can understand that, and I treat it as a diagnosis, very much the same that we treat high blood pressure, very much the same that we treat diabetes. Looking at it clinically can help you distract, or subtract from the situation and treat it where it needs to be treated.
Good stuff.
Very good information.
Very good. Coming up, Deals and Steals September sizzle. Tory has savings from small businesses, all at least 50% off.
Cha-ching. We are back now with Deals and Steals. Tori Johnson returns for day 3 of our September sizzle with products all from small businesses.
Oh, yeah.
What are we starting with? Bra
We are
30?
starting with Bra 30. It is a Made in America favorite to allow you to surround yourself in softness, they like to say. So we've got, it's super soft. That tank right there, we got the cropped one on there, but we have 8 different styles.
We
so
love
you can
a matching set.
Yeah, we love a matching set. So you can get short like this or the significantly longer ones. What I love about this fabric is it's the perfect blend of cotton and spandex, so you get just the right amount of support without any, straps and discomfort and all of that. But if you want their super soft jersey or the ribbed fabric, pants, we got everything for you, and it's all 50% off starting at $18.
Is it just for women?
It is for that. It is.
But I felt it and brought it with
Sorry,
dolls.
Ike, but Ike is already shopping for his wife on Stephanie Johnson.
Me too.
So these are some
adorable.
of the chicest travel bags. So anything that you've got, like cosmetics, toiletries, makeup, jewelry, there is a space for everything. They are so thoughtfully designed. The fabric on the exterior is very chic, whether it's a weekend getaway or an international adventure. They've got you covered where everything's going to be in its place, and it's like a durable, beautiful piece that you're going to love to travel with. And it's all 50% off. So we like that.
I did. I called Janae one of them.
Janae knows her colors. All right, SP socks. I was obsessed to learn about these because these are socks with 50,000 positive reviews. So like, hello, 50,000. These are the grippy ones. So it's the compression socks. So those right there. Then these are also, this is plantar fasciitis compression socks, designed specifically so that this doesn't slip off, that you get really great heel support as well. These grippy ones are great for Pilates, anything where you've got to make sure, even just walking at home on a slippery floor and you want some stability, you get these grippy socks. You're going to save 50% plus free shipping from SP Socks.
Long flights too?
Yes, exactly.
Trampoline park
Yes,
socks.
exactly. For long flights, standing, sitting, expecting, exercising, traveling, yes. Atrax. Atrax is a shoe brand that we love. It's all about a better fit, feel, and function, they like to say. We've got, those sneakers there are men's, so we've got more than 50 different styles. So from slip-on sneakers, booties, if you're looking for comfort, stability, well-made shoes, these are it, 50% off and free shipping
These kind of things
from
are always
Atrax.
a hit with our viewers,
They are
right?
such a hit. That brand is one of the popular ones. Okay, I got some really cool tech for you guys. I'm excited. They're making their GMA Deals debut. So typically cords can be messy, it's clutter. These have magnetic built in, so that if you take this and then you just need to like put it back easily, boom. So look at that. Then I'm going to show you something else that's fascinating. So imagine you're traveling, and you have multiple devices with you, but you don't want to take multiple cords. We've got this one that has, it's a universal tip on it, so that this can come right off, and then you can magnetize on The other ones, it comes with 3 of the, obviously all the most common, and that way you just keep it in your little Stephanie Johnson case all together, so that when you travel, all the pieces are in one and you don't need multiple chargers.
Fantastic.
Or these magnetic ones at a
Look at
desk,
that. We
in
just
a
put it all
kitchen.
together like that.
These are genius, and they're all 50% off today. So can't beat that. And then finally,
this is just a hit,
yeah,
right?
this is such a hit. Bug bite thing. So I'm all about the functional products today. Bug bite thing. Easiest way, especially with kids, but honestly for adults too, easiest way to suction the venom or saliva from a bug bite. So typically we're trained to just mask it with like a topical. When you use this, you pull it out. So that's how you are eliminating the sting. You will understand this one day, right? When you got that, when you got that big stung.
One of these.
Like a bee or no, I got stung on spring break, but I wish I had that.
It's such a good product, and the sets are 50% off.
Good stuff, Tori.
Well, thank you guys. And we have partnered with all of these great companies. On these products, you can get them at GMAdeals.com. That QR code on your screen takes you straight there, and we'll see you back here tomorrow for more deals. We'll be right back. Thanks, Tori.
Welcome back to GMA3.
Welcome back to GMA3 on this Wednesday. Tomorrow on GMA, Sarah McLachlan will be here performing live and telling us about the new movie Lilith Fair, Building a Mystery, taking us behind the scenes of the groundbreaking all-women music festival. How cool. Looking forward to that. What a hit maker, too.
I love her. And on Friday, we will hear from Super Bowl champion Saquon Barkley. I spoke with him yesterday. The Eagles are already off to a great start as they try to repeat. He's going to talk about that. He's going to talk about the exciting offseason and much more. We had so much fun yesterday in Philly.
That's going to be a nice conversation. Also, Ethan Hawke will be here on Friday. He has so much going on, including the new FX drama, The Lowdown, about a journalist who's always getting in over his head. Sounds familiar. I don't know what's going on. It'll be great to hear all about that.
I'm looking forward to all of that. Now to an arrest in the theft of hard drives containing unreleased music by Beyonce. Sam Champion has the story.
The man police say is involved in the brazen theft of Beyonce's unreleased music is now behind bars. Authorities say they nabbed Kelvin Evans by using tracking technology from some of the electronic devices that were allegedly stolen. It happened in Northeast Atlanta on July 8th, less than 48 hours before the 35-time Grammy winner kicked off the Atlanta dates of her wildly successful Cowboy Carter tour. A dancer and choreographer said thieves broke into their rented SUV, stealing numerous items, including designer clothes, laptops, and jump drives containing Queen Bee's set lists and unheard songs.
They have my computers, and it's really, really important information in there.
And although an arrest has been made, those stolen hard drives storing the intellectual property of one of music's biggest stars have not been recovered.
The fact that the hard drives have not been discovered as of yet is not necessarily surprising. Most theft crimes are because the individual wants to sell the items. Was the hard drive encrypted? Could he even access any information off of the hard drive? Those are all questions that have yet to been answered by this investigation.
So we have reached out to Beyonce's camp and haven't heard back, but we are patiently waiting on Act 3. But we should give Beyonce the props she deserves because according to Billboard, Cowboy Carter was the highest grossing country tour in history. And whatever is on those hard drives, we wouldn't mind hearing that.
That's how you know me and Janae are not the thieves.
It's not us.
We would be singing Act 3 out loud right now.
What else is going on in pop news?
Oh, if we have to stop talking about Act 3, why don't we start talking about Sabrina Carpenter? We know how she feels about a man-child, but what about manifesting her dreams? On the heels of her second Billboard #1 album, Man's Best Friend, Sabrina is now set to headline the 2026 Coachella Music Festival, something she manifested during her Coachella debut back in 2024. Let's listen to how she ended her set then.
Coachella, see you back here on a headline.
Coachella, see you back here when I headline. She called it, yeah. And just to prove her clairvoyance, Carpenter posted this caption to her Instagram with next year's lineup, writing, Woman of My Word. The two-time Grammy winner will share the Coachella stage with fellow headliners Justin Bieber and Karol G. Coachella 2026 will span April 10th to 12th and 17th to 19th.
That's quite a lineup.
Awesome.
I mean, she called it. She was just like...
believing in yourself.
Exactly. And people sort of look at her as like an overnight success, but she's been dropping albums for a very long time, and it wasn't really until Espresso and some songs before that, but last year was really her.
And she'd been around before that, right?
Exactly.
She was a Disney Channel come up.
Yeah. So I'm saying it here and now, I'm going to headline Coachella 2027.
Yes, manifesting.
Thank you. Also in music news, Miley Cyrus getting set to reveal her secrets. The Grammy winner taking to Instagram to post a snippet of her highly anticipated new song, Secrets. Let's take a listen. Miley has teased that the standalone single was written for her dad, Billy Ray Cyrus's 64th birthday. Billy Ray commented right away on her Instagram saying, quote, "Can't wait for everyone to hear the whole song. It's amazing." The song, by the way, features two of his favorite musicians from Fleetwood Mac, singer-guitarist Lindsey Buckingham and drummer Mick Fleetwood. Miley revealed on Monica Lewinsky's podcast back in June that she wrote the song to tell her dad that even if he held deep secrets, quote, "I wanted to be the one he felt safe enough to tell me things that were damaging to the family. I wanted him to think that as a middle child, I'm old enough that I could take some of that." Miley's new single, Secrets, is out this Friday. Can't wait to hear what the lyrics are.
I know.
Exactly.
She gonna give away some of the secrets?
I bet she would. She's a Sagittarius. That's what they're known for.
Hey, I'm a Sagittarius.
So spill some secrets, Rhiannon. All right. Finally, it's time to pivot to the next pop news headline involving all of our favorite friends. Central Perk, the coffee shop made famous in Friends, is opening its first permanent location right here in New York City. The cafe will include a replica of the orange sofa, Friends-inspired food items, merch, and take-home coffee blends available for purchase. It's set to open this fall, but no word yet on when Phoebe Buffay might perform Smelly Cat. You know it. Yeah, there you go.
I sing like her, too. I'm horrible.
You have to get sick like she did to make, really have that rich sounding tone. Yeah.
All right, well, it's not Smelly Cat, but coming up, it's time to go dancing inside the ballroom for last night's season premiere. And former pro Sharna Burgess is here telling us who she thinks can win it all.
You know I dream in color and do the things.
We are back with the premiere of Dancing with the Stars, and what a night. Former Mirror Ball winner Sharna Burgess is here to talk more about it. But first, Ginger in the ballroom with the most exciting moments.
The ballroom is on fire. Season 34 kicking off into high gear.
The devil wears tango.
Dancing with the Stars welcoming me for the premiere.
And in the ballroom for our season premiere, from Good Morning America and our own season 22, Ginger Z.
Elaine Hendricks and Alan tipping their hat to the Parent Trap. And all eyes in the center of the ring for Alex Earl and Val.
We're halfway through. We just watched a ring of fire in a circus, and it feels like we've all been shot out of a cannon.
Danielle Fishel leaning into her year of yes. Corey Feldman bringing some MJ into the ballroom.
It's not just the dancing that's hot. Like, it's actually temperature hot.
The dancing is amazing tonight.
It's very strong, very competitive.
But it was Robert Irwin and Whitney who crock and rolled, bringing down the house.
Probably the best first dance I have ever seen on this show. That was incredible.
We caught the dancers on a post-show high.
Holy cow! He did incredible. I am so proud.
Every success on the dance floor is all her fault.
Is there a name for that tango?
I think I'd call it the Fuego. She's amazing. I am very, very blessed to have her as my partner.
The year of yes.
Yes, my year of yes for sure. Like, nothing will make you realize you're not living life the way you want to live it, like a cancer diagnosis. And so I just wanted to say yes to more joy.
I had forgotten how incredible she is at performing. I'm talking about you. The musicality, that's the part that I had forgotten, and she's really good.
Oh, the Parent Trap reunion.
I know. And professional dancer, former Mirrorball winner, Sharna Burgess is here to talk with us all about it. Thank you so much for being here. So everybody, when we just watched Ginger's piece, loved seeing Corey Feldman bring the MJ flavor. Who's your front runner?
Well, I think easy front runners for me right now would be Robert and Whitney. Robert and Whitney and Mark.
Yeah.
You know, last night they were spectacular. I really expected Whitney to be, but Robert, I didn't know. I was like, look, Bindi was amazing. It doesn't mean he will be, but then seeing him in his package, I also wasn't sure. And then he busted out that first few counts in a jive, and I was like, okay, here we go. And then he's so freaking lovable that I think he's going to be an easy finalist.
There are a lot of good dancers this season, it looks like. So who needs some work?
I think it's probably easy to say that Corey and Andy need the most work.
The MJ didn't do it for you?
Yeah, listen, it did. He did great. But when it comes to our ballroom technique and what the show's going to be about, he's got a little work to do. They've both got great pros to get them there at the end of the day. But they also are incredibly lovable. You know, up in the skybox talking to Julianne, the things they had to say, they are the stories that we love to watch. So I think for them, it's not about trying to be the best, but just trying to continue improving every week, and people will rally for that, you know?
All right, next week is double elimination time,
I
okay?
know,
Can
by
you
the way.
believe this?
Whoa.
Jeez Louise. Second to last is a four-way tie between Jordan, Dylan, Barron, and Scott. So what do they have to do to step it up here?
Yeah, that's a tough one for me because I don't believe that they are on the same level. So I think there was a little something that just was amiss in the scoring. I think honestly they just need to continue improving and doing great and being on their own journey. Everyone is really great in this competition. I think forget that you were in that four-way tie and just keep pushing forward and keep doing what you're doing. I actually think Dylan was wildly underscored. I thought he was really fantastic last night. And I think Jordan was underscored a little bit too because going first can be really, really hard. By the way, those tricks that she busted out were unbelievable.
Oh, we love these hot takes here. I know you mentioned before that Robert surprised you a bit. Who else shocked you and why?
You know, it's wild to say this, but Lauren, I was sleeping on Lauren, and then she came out and danced in those first few counts. I thought, oh my goodness, of course she's amazing. Yeah. She had more texture in her dancing than I think anybody else that I had seen over the night. I think she's going to be a fantastic contender, and I'm really excited to see where Brandon can take her, for sure.
And we were talking during the commercial break. You said you will always miss your time on Dancing with the Stars, but you're actually making your off-Broadway debut tonight. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Tell
so
us about
much.
your show.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. So the play is called Pen Pals, and it is a beautiful story of friendship of about 40 years between two women that write letters to each other from England to New Jersey. And I am playing the English character Mags, and it is just so beautiful to share this experience of womanhood, of the female experience from the ages of 14 and what we go through to then to the ages of 60. It's love and loss and pain and growing up, and it's just really cool to be able to play that and share that and to be here on Off-Broadway as an actress, which is, you know, my debut. So very, very exciting, very grateful.
You have any butterflies?
Lots of them, yes. Lots of butterflies. I would be lying if I said I didn't. I am quietly freaking out. But I'm really excited. Tonight's our first preview, and I know once I get on there and it's the lights hit, it's just going to, you know, come out of me. Or I'm hoping, so we'll fingers crossed.
I'm sure it will.
I'm sure your fiance, Brian Austin Green, has been encouraging, right?
He's incredible. He's honestly the reason I'm even in this. He said to me, I would always read with him for his auditions. He was like, baby, you really need to get into this because you're great at it without having done any work on it. And so I've been studying now for a couple of years, and he's my #1 fan, my biggest supporter. I totally work on my stuff with him because he's so talented as well. So I'm very, very lucky to have him.
2 actors in the house. Congratulations.
Thank you
so much for being here.
Yeah, thank you, you guys. It was a pleasure being here.
I can't wait to see what happens on Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah.
Those
Me
were great
too.
takes. Coming up, it was the global phenom that forced a choice. Team Edward or Team Jacob? Team Edward, of course. There's no other option. I'm just kidding.
Back now on GMA, and believe it or not, it has been 20 years since Twilight took the world by storm and became a global phenomenon. Juju Chang sat down with the book's author, Stephanie Meyer, to talk about its legacy. You talked to her before. How cool to get to circle back after all these years, Juju.
It was great. It was a massive catch-up for the two of us, and we had a lot of fun reminiscing about all of it, including the Twilight fans. I got to travel all the way across to the other corner of the country, to Forks, Washington, to talk to her. And you know, she created the global juggernaut that is the Twilight franchise. It's essentially a Romeo and Juliet story of two teenagers, except one of them's a vampire.
It's been 20 years since Edward, Bella, and the Twilight saga catapulted a then 29-year-old author, Stephanie Meyer, to fame.
You said your fans wouldn't recognize you today. Why?
Well, I'm really blonde now, which I wasn't before. And I'm old. I was so young when I started this, and it's been a while.
Twilight, New Moon, Eclipse, Breaking Dawn, and Midnight Sun, selling over 160 million copies worldwide.
Why is Twilight so enduring?
I think I was able to capture just a little bit of what it feels like to fall in love.
But it's not just falling in love, it's forbidden love.
Yes, well, it's love that's on its surface kind of doomed, and that's always exciting. Of course, it ends up happily for them because I am who I am, and I like happy endings.
So the lion fell in love with the lamb.
The idea really came to you in a dream?
Yes, it really did. It was a boy and a girl, and they were sitting in the sunshine in a beautiful forest, and he was glittering and sparkling, and in my dream, it was so beautiful.
That dazzling scene brought to life in the blockbuster films, launching Kristen Stewart and Robert Pattinson to superstardom.
You're beautiful.
Beautiful. This is the skin of a killer, Bella.
The books and the films creating a fan frenzy. Even now, Twihards flock to Forks, Washington, where the story unfolds, to visit locations, a museum, and a festival dedicated to all things Twilight.
This is the costume
that you conjured up in your dream. What's it like 20 years later and your fans are just as into it?
I don't even know how to process that. I wasn't expecting fans when I started this to be back here and still have people care. I mean, it's really, really flattering, but I never expect that to last. It's bizarre to me that 20 years later, I'm back here talking to you.
And here in the woods, made famous by her sheer imagination, Meyer reflecting on what draws fans to Bella Swan.
You'll always be my Bella.
I think a lot of our heroines that we get in books are adventurers. They're wielding swords and they're doing daring do's. But Bella is a quiet girl. She reads books. We don't get a lot of quiet readers as our heroes.
She's you, isn't she?
She is someone that I would be friends with. I also am an introvert. I'm shy. I like to read. A lot of her opinions that she has on things are kind of the opposite of mine. I would not have probably chosen the vampire.
So does that mean you'd go team werewolf?
Don't make me choose. Probably team werewolf. I did marry the boy I grew up with, like the family friend that I'd known since I was 4. So that's definitely more my style.
What do you think Edward and Bella would be doing today?
For me, Bella and Edward are frozen where Breaking Dawn ended. I have other stories outlined that I don't know if I'll ever get to. I'll have somebody, you know, disseminate them after my death, my outlines, if I never get around to it. But for me, the stories go on.
That's what I call a tease, right? You know, and to mark 20 years, the publishers are coming out with gorgeous new cover art, and it's for a new generation of readers. And even though the fans would not change a word, they're called Twihards. Stephanie told me if she could, she'd go back in and rewrite much of the book.
Really?
Yeah, she's such a
Okay,
artist.
but I know Bella ended up with Edward. Sorry, spoiler alert for those of you who have not read or seen the books. But was she Team Edward or Team Jacob?
Oh, Stephanie is Team Jacob. She is definitely Team Werewolf.
Yeah,
she said, I married the guy from the hometown. And honestly, it was fun to visit Forks because people are so into it. People move from across the country to live in Forks.
In the woods. It was beautiful and so cool.
And not CGI. It was fantastic, lush and gorgeous, and you could see why it's compelling for people.
I hope she changes her mind and revisits it. It's wonderful. Thank you, Juju.
Thank you so much, Juju.
I'm a Twihard.
We'll be right back.
I think I saw you.
Listen to that music. Thank you for joining us on this Wednesday.
Oh, what a fun show. And for more news, you can always check out what you need to know anytime on Disney+. Have a great day.
I will see you tomorrow.